And here I was, really in exchanging my scarcest commodity in the world, which was time, to service one person. That's not a scalable business. Not by any stretch. How to transform your business and take it from a small business to a large business. That's what we're going to be covering in today's presentation. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Dan Henderson from Fitness Profit, and it's my absolute pleasure to share this presentation with you. So I've been in business now for over 15 years. I've had 5 different businesses, and in all cases, I've taken them from a small business into a much larger business. And I can't wait to share with you the 8 different steps and strategies that I adopted to help me do so. But before I begin, just a quick little background. You see, my first business started 15 years ago, and this was a mobile personal training business. And so what I essentially did is I would drive to people's homes and I would train them. I had a few pieces of equipment, a couple of kettlebells, a mat, a couple of boxing gloves, and that was about it. And here I was, really in exchanging my scarcest commodity in the world, which was time, to service one person. That's not a scalable business. Not by any stretch. You know, you only got so many finite hours in a day, and I was burning mine just traveling to and from people. But that's where I really learned the game of business. And I also learned that this is not how to scale a business. In order to scale a business to 7 figures and beyond, you need to have these 8 things in place. And I'm going to share them with you in a moment. But what I was able to do, fast forward, is just a few years later, I was able to build up this really flourishing personal training studio with 7 different coaches delivering hundreds of sessions a week, and the business wasn't dependent on me. So this was a far cry from where I'd started in my car. A couple of years after that, I had this global education company with about 30 employees working in 16 different countries. And again, it's because of the 8 steps that I'm going to share with you today. And so I know that you too can experience similar levels of growth and success by applying these lessons. So number 1 is a larger business has a great vision and mission. You see, when I started in the back of my car, the vision was small. It was tiny. It was just to deliver enough sessions so I could scrape by, so I could get by doing what I love and essentially paying the bills. But that's not a vision that's inspiring. That doesn't leave the world in a better place. That doesn't inspire others to want to come and work with you. And so one of the first things you need to do, if you want a bigger business, you need to have a vision that is bigger than you. It's got to come from your heart, and it's got to leave the world in a better place. And you should be shouting this vision from the rooftops, because when you do so, people will be enthused about that. They'll want to jump on board, and they'll want to be part of that. So if you want a bigger business, it starts by having a bigger vision for that business. So that's step number 1. And if you need some help in crafting that bigger vision, a couple of resources I'm going to refer you to. Number 1 is Vivid Vision by Cameron Herold, a fantastic book on how to craft a vision that really excites you, that makes you want to just rip that doona off of a morning and embark on making that happen. So that's number 1. Number 2 is an oldie but a goodie, and that is Start With Why by Simon Sinek. All right, a fantastic book on the importance of establishing the why of your business and how everything comes from that. So that's number 1. Have a vision and a mission that is bigger than you. All right. Number 2 is strategic planning. You see, when I had a small business, I was thinking very myopically, very short term. All right, I was just thinking about what I needed to do that day, maybe the next day, and maybe that week on how I could potentially grow it. But what a big business has is it has a long-term approach. It's not thinking a day ahead. It's thinking 5, 10 years ahead. All right. This is a very, very different approach. So immediately you start thinking bigger. All right. And you start mapping out and you start engineering the kind of business that you want. Whereas small business is very reactive. You're too busy responding. Oh, I lost a client. I better go and do more marketing. Oh, I'm struggling right now to, get enough revenue. I better go and do a price rise or add a different product or service. Where with a strategic plan, you've got this all mapped out. You've got intimate detail of the exact metrics you want to hit, the projects that you want to embark on, and by when. And this is a very different approach that is going to enable you to have more success. So that's number 2, is strategic planning. You need to be thinking long term. You need to be thinking bigger, because whether you think you can or you can't, you're both right. So you might as well think bigger and start planning to achieve and accomplish that bigger dream. Number 3 is effective leadership. Now, this is probably the number 1 skill that I see business owners lack, and hence they can't get to that next level, all right? Because they're really good at operating on their own. But when it comes to leadership, which is again about communicating that vision, that mission, the goals, it's really about leading from the front. It's about self-leadership. It's about great communication. It's about responsibility. It's about emotional resilience. These skills are so important if you want to take the next leap in business, because this is what great culture is built on. All right, this is what great community is built on. And these are hallmarks of a bigger business. So you have to evolve. You have to become an amazing leader. But second to that is you need to create other amazing leaders. So the hallmark of a great leader is, yes, they showcase all those values and attributes that I shared before. They have a big vision. They're great communicators. They're emotionally resilient. They have lots of self-leadership. But in addition to that, they also create other great leaders that model the example they set. So number 3 is really effective leadership. Number 4, it's customer focus and results. When you're a small business, you just don't have the same level of resources. And again, I'll give you an example. Those clients that I used to service when I used to drive to their house, I had 3 or 4 bits of equipment. That was about it. Now, I own a gym and it's got extensive amounts of equipment. We have all this technology when it comes to measuring their results and their heart rate and their recovery. We've got scanners that print out amazing information in exactly, what their body looks like. And so now I've got more resources, I've got more people, so we can give them more accountability. We can give them more check-ins. We can give them more non-sweat coaching sessions. We can host really amazing challenges. We can host amazing social events. And so the results obviously improve because of this customer-centric reinvestment back into the business itself. And so if you're a bigger business, you just have more resources. More resources can equal better results. Better results equal better customer experience. And so when you're a bigger business, you need to constantly be mindful and conscious and deliberate around enhancing the experience and the results of your clients. So that's number 4. Number 5. Now, I got this word or these couple of words from Ed Milet, and I absolutely love them. Blissful dissatisfaction. If you want to transform your business, if you want more success, if you want to go from having a small business to a large business, then you need to be blissfully dissatisfied. Now, what does that mean? Well, the blissful is the here and now. You want to be grateful for all that you've accomplished to this point. The people in your life, the people that are supporting you, the people that are surrounding your business and helping it get to that next level, right? You want to be present with those people, and you want to be gracious and grateful. But at the same time, you want to be dissatisfied. And the dissatisfaction part is this. You know that you're not fulfilling your full potential. You know that there is more in you. You know that you're capable of becoming a better leader, a better entrepreneur, a better integrator, a better operator. And so you have this yearning to wake up every day and be that little bit better because you're dissatisfied with where you are right now. When it comes to business, you know that you deliver a great product. It's customer centric. You know you're getting amazing results, but at the same time, you're dissatisfied because you know that more people should be experiencing this product, this service, and these results. And so because of that dissatisfaction, you're constantly striving to improve personally and professionally. So you need to be blissfully dissatisfied, present in the here and now, gracious and grateful and joyous. But at the same time, you want to be dissatisfied knowing there's no chance of complacency because we can get so much better. We really, really can. So that's number 5. Number 6, there has to be a scalable business model. Now, this is one very, very close to my heart. It's one that I talk about a lot. Because that first business model that I shared with you, that mobile personal training business, it wasn't a business. It was a job. I just bought myself a job. And this is where a lot of people get confused. They think they have a business, when in fact, they are just self-employed. The business is 100% dependent on them and their exertion. If they're not working, then the whole business stops. The cash flow stops. The growth stops. Where a business will operate independently of you. You're able to extract yourself from that business and it will still continue to grow and produce results and produce income. Now, this is the leap that I took when I went from small business to a bigger business. In that first example that I gave you, if I stopped seeing those clients, in my car to train them one-on-one, the whole business fell over. Cash flow stopped. In the second business, I had a team of amazing coaches. I'd remove myself from the business, hence why I was able to sell it for a really successful multiple because I had a scalable business model. So if you want to have a bigger business, you have to go back and you have to have a look at the model itself. Is this a model that is scalable? And a scalable business model really has 2 major things in place. Number 1, the systems run the business and the people run the systems. All right, so great systems and great people. So looking right now, the litmus test is, if you were to remove yourself from that business for 6 months, would it continue to operate? Would it continue to grow? If you can say yes, then you've got a scalable business. If you say no, then we need to obviously A, optimize the current model that we have, or switch the model itself. So model is very important if you want to go from small business and transform into that bigger business. Number 7 is robust financial management. Now, full disclosure here, a bit of a confession, one that I'm embarrassed to make. But when I started my business, not only when I started, it was really for probably the first couple of years, my financial management consisted of this: looking at my bank account every single morning. That's how I knew whether I was profitable or not. Oh, damn, the bank account's getting pretty low. We're going to have to go and acquire some clients. We're going to have to ramp up the marketing. And then I'd get surprised when I'd get a tax bill or some unexpected expense. This was the opposite of robust financial management. So if you want to transform your business from small to big, You need to install some really good financial systems. You need to make sure that you're doing things like cash flow forecasts. You need to ensure that you're looking over your financial reports with experts on a really regular basis. You need to make sure you've got great advisors around you. And you also need to be looking at investment opportunities and growth opportunities, as well as financial risk minimization. That's what great financial management looks like. It's proactive, it's consistent. And right now, that may be a skill that you're lacking, that financial literacy. And so I really implore you to develop that, because that will enable you to get to that next level in business. It really will. The more you understand your numbers, the better the direction of the business itself. All right? Numbers drive direction. Metrics drive direction. So you need great financial management. And then our last one is an irresistible offer. And again, when I started, and you see, you may resonate with some of the mistakes that I made, because I see a lot of people make these mistakes, and yet there is an alternative way. The last one is an irresistible offer. And the mistake that I made was my irresistible offer was simply being the cheapest. And I tell you what, that is a slippery slope to either burnout or failure. It really is. You don't want to be a commodity, and you definitely don't want to compete in price in this market. But rather, what you need to do is you need to identify what is the main problem that I solve. All right? What is the main issue that people come to me with, and what is that core problem that really, like, they feel like they're in hell when they're experiencing it. And then you need to create an offer that solves that. That takes them from problem to promise, from hell to heaven. But you also need to do so with the least amount of friction. You need to do it in the most efficient manner. So that may include, the time that they take to accomplish that promise and to achieve the outcomes itself. But it's really important that you really are operating in a market of one, that you're in a blue ocean, not a red ocean. And we do so through our offers. So there you have it. There's 8 different ways to transform your business from a small business to a big business. As I said, I've done this multiple times myself, and it's through following these 8. So let me just share them with you one more time. I'll just look down to ensure that I collect every single one. Number 1 is vision and mission. Number 2 is strategic planning. Number 3 is effective leadership. Number 4 is a customer focus and results. Number 5 is blissful dissatisfaction. Number 6 is a scalable business model. Number 7 is robust financial management. And number 8 is an irresistible offer. Now, there is a little bit of work involved in this. I'm not going to shy away from that. It's not a quick fix. But what I can guarantee you, what I can tell you hand on heart, that it is absolutely worth it, because the income, the impact, and the freedom that you'll derive from transforming your business from small to big and having more success is so worth it. There is nothing more gratifying than seeing this come to life. So thank you so much for watching it. If you got value, you know what to do. Give us a like, subscribe, and just support us. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.